The Zooz ZEN17 is one of my favorite Z-Wave devices because you can use it to automate just about anything. Let's unbox it and see what type of stuff we can do with it. Inside the box we have the ZEN17, a Type A to Type C cable, and the manual. The first thing you want to do is power the device on. As you can see, you have two options for powering the device. The USB-C port takes 5 volts and the terminals take 12 to 24 volts. It's important to note that you can only use one power source at a time. I personally decided to go with a 12 volt adapter. All I have to do is connect the wires to the terminal and plug the device in. Now that we have the device powered on, let's take a look at the terminals on the front. On the left you have your inputs and on the right you have your relays. The inputs can be used to control the relays as well as report information to a Z-Wave hub. The relays are Form C relays, which mean you have one input that alternates between two outputs. The terminals labeled S1 and C and S2 and C are called dry contacts. The way these work is a signal is output on the C terminal and monitored on the S1 and S2 terminal. If the signal is detected on the S1 or S2 terminal, then the relay will close. Here I have a door sensor wired up to the S1 and C terminal, and as you can see, when I put the magnet up to the sensor, it closes the circuit and the relay turns on. One cool thing about dry contact inputs is that you can wire multiple sensors up to one input. Let's test this out. I have two door sensors wired in series, and as you can see, both magnets have to be closed in order for the relay to close. Now if I rewire this as a parallel circuit, I can put the magnet up to any sensor to close the circuit. The terminals labeled C and VC are your low voltage inputs. You connect the positive wire to the VC terminal and the negative to the C terminal. Then when the voltage is applied, the circuit will be closed. Keep in mind that you can only use one input type per relay. The best part about the ZEN17 is that you can do all of these things without adding to a hub. But to take full advantage of all its features, we need to add to our hub. So let's add it to Home Assistant and see what else we can do with the device. Here we are on the Z-Wave UI dashboard, and the first thing you will notice is that the firmware of the ZEN17 is 1.30. This is the latest version, so if you have a different version, some features may not be available to you. If you click the button next to the node ID, you can view the different values for the device. Under the binary switch section, you should see 3 buttons. The first button turns both relays on and off. The second button controls the first relay, and the last button controls the second relay. Now let's take a look at the configuration section. The first parameter defines what you want to have happen after a power outage. With the default setting, if the relay was on and the power went out, then it will turn back on when the power is restored. The next and most important parameter is the input type. There are 11 different options that you can set for this parameter. Options 0 through 3 change how the dry contact input controls the relay, while option 4 through 11 report sensor values to the hub. By default, when the dry contact circuit is closed, the relay is on, and when the circuit is open, the relay is off. When I switch to the momentary option, all I have to do is momentarily close the circuit to turn the relay on, and then momentarily close it again to turn it off. With the toggle option, anytime you open or close a circuit, it will change the state of the relay. As you can see in the control panel, the relay is off, and on the ZEN17, the dry contact circuit is open. If I close the circuit, the relay turns on. Now if I turn the relay off via Z-Wave commands and open the circuit, it would also turn the relay on. In garage mode, when you close the circuit, the relay turns on, then turns off a few seconds later to simulate a momentary button press. When you select option 4 through 11, 2 new value groups will be created. The binary sensor group is where you go to view the reported sensor values. Now when I open and close the circuit on the ZEN17, you can see that the sensor state updates in addition to the relay turning on and off. If you go into Home Assistant and enable to Entity, you would also get updates here as well. Sometimes sensors operate the exact opposite of the way you expect them to. So in order to get them to report the correct state, we need to enable the invert value parameter. All you need to do is select the same value you selected for the input type and re-interview the device. It's important to note that this setting only affects the reported sensor value. If the circuit is closed, then the relay will always be on. Parameters 6 through 9 and 15 through 18 control the auto on and auto off function of the relay. This allows you to do things like automatically turn off the relay 3 seconds after it was turned on. To set something like this up, you would set parameter 6 to 3 and parameter 15 to seconds. Now whenever the relay is turned on via Z-Wave commands or the inputs, it would automatically turn off after 3 seconds of being on. Parameter 5 allows you to set when the LED light turns on and off. As you can see with the default setting, when the relay is off, the light is on. Parameter 10 and 11 allow you to disable the relay control from the input. Now when you close the circuit on input 1, nothing happens. Parameter 25 and 26 refer to how long the dry contact has to be in a certain state for it to register. Let's see what happens when I set this value to 30. As you can see with a value of 30, the dry contact circuit has to be closed for 3 seconds to turn the relay on. Then the circuit has to be open for another 3 seconds to turn the relay off. Wiring a DC motor to the ZEN17 is really simple. Here I have a standard 5-volt motor with 2 wires pre-attached to the terminals. You simply take the wires connected to the motor and connect them to the C terminal on relay 1 and relay 2. The next thing you need to do is connect your positive and negative wires from your power source. Here I have a USB cable that connects to a 5-volt charge brick. Connected to the end of my USB cable is a splitter that turns my single wire into 2. You simply connect the positive wires to the normally open terminal on relay 1 and relay 2, then connect the negative wires to the normally closed terminal on relay 1 and relay 2. Once this is done, the last thing you need to do is enable the DC motor mode inside the Z-Wave UI control panel. The DC motor mode syncs the relays together to prevent them from both turning on at the same time. When one relay turns on, the other one turns off. Now when I turn relay 1 on, the motor turns in one direction. Then when I turn relay 2 on, relay 1 turns off and the motor turns in the other direction. The fixed input actions allow you to have multiple inputs perform a single action for the selected relay. If I select option 1, I can use input 1 to turn the relay on, then use input 2 to turn the relay off. To turn the relay 1 on, I close the circuit on input 1. To turn the relay 1 off, I momentarily close the circuit on input 2. Associations allow one Z-Wave device to control another Z-Wave device without the need to communicate through a hub. As you can see from the Z-Wave Alliance product page, the ZEN17 has 3 association groups. Groups 2 and 3 allow you to turn other devices on and off when the relays on the ZEN17 turn on and off. Let's set up an association to turn a light on and off when relay 1 turns on and off. To set this up, we need to click the Groups button to navigate to the Groups page. Now click Add and select the endpoint and group. Endpoint 1 refers to relay 1, so we will select that as our endpoint, then select the basic set group as our group. Now all we need to do is select our target node, which is the device that we want to control. Once this is selected, leave the endpoint blank and click Add. Now if we open up the control panel for both of our devices, you can see that when I turn relay 1 on and off, all the devices in that association group turn on and off. The ZEN17 is a versatile Z-Wave device that you can use to automate just about anything. When you consider the fact that it can also operate without a hub and that it costs $22 on sale, it's one of the only Z-Wave devices that I recommend you buy even if you don't have a use for it.